Morning, everyone. Let's do a 10-minute morning flow here. Let's start into a child's pose, spreading our knees out wide, bringing our toes to touch, sitting back into our seat and reaching our palms forward, dropping our forehead to the mat, taking a deep breath in and exhale out. We'll be here for a while, so just sit back in that seat, drawing that seat to your heels, reaching those palms forward. Inhale and exhale. Another inhale and a deep, deep exhale. Setting our body up for practice today. Let's take one more inhale and exhale it out, bringing yourself up to tabletop, tucking those toes under. Let's inhale, reaching our chin up to the sky, and exhale, arching that spine. Inhale, reach that chin up. Exhale, arching that spine, a little cat-cow here, waking up that back. Inhale, reaching that chin up to the sky and exhaling it out. Meet me back in a tabletop position, reaching that right arm out and bringing it underneath that left, dropping that right ear to the mat, stretching out that shoulder. Really reaching that right arm to that left side, feeling that stretch in that upper body. Waking ourselves up for this morning, your day. Bringing that right arm back into the mat. Let's do the other side. Reach that left hand out. Bring it under your right arm, bringing your left ear into the mat, feeling that stretch in that upper body. Keeping those hips up high. Let's slowly bring that left hand back into the mat. Spreading those palms out wide, tucking those toes, slowly shooting up into a downward facing dog. Keeping a nice bend in those knees, really feeling that stretch in the upper body, shooting that sternum towards your hips. Hips are shooting towards the sky. Feel free to walk your dog out a little bit here, bringing your heel to the mat. Gaze forward and slowly step to the top of your mat. Keeping a nice bend in your knees, reaching your fingertips to the mat, and let's do a halfway lift, flattening that back, keeping a bend in your knees, hands on your shins. And let's rise up into a mountain pose, reaching those fingertips to the sky, tucking that belly button in, shoulders are away from your ears, your gaze is forward. Let's inhale, baby back bend, reaching that chin to the sky, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, and exhale, plant those hands into the mat. Inhale, let's rise up for chair pose here, bending those knees. Knees are directly over those toes. You can still see those toes. You can give them a little wiggle. All the weight is in your heels here. Bring your hands into heart center, prayer pose, and twist on over to your right side, bringing that left elbow to your right knee, pressing with all your force to both palms and gazing up towards the sky. Option to gaze at the mat for more balance here. Sit down deep in that seat, really feeling that stretch in the side body. Let's release our hands into the mat. Halfway lift. And let's inhale for chair pose here. Let's go to the other side, sitting down deep in that chair, bringing your palms into a prayer position. And let's turn over to the left, bringing that right elbow to your left knee, reaching that gaze into the sky, pushing with equal force with both palms, sitting down deep in your seat. Option to gaze at the floor for more balance, and let's release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, mountain pose. Exhale, baby back bend. Reach that chin up to the sky. Inhale, mountain. And exhale, dive it down into the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant those hands. Reach those feet back into a high plank. Chaturanga, Dandasana. Bend those elbows 90 degrees. Flip those feet and shine that heart for upward facing dog. And exhale it out. Downward facing dog. Taking a nice bend in those knees, bringing that sternum to those knees, gazing at your toes. Inhale, lift that right leg high, pointing those toes into the ground. Exhale, bring it to your elbows. Inhale, lift it high. Exhale, plant that knee directly at your right palm, bringing that right foot in between your hip and your mat on your left side, reaching those palms out long. Option to bring the forehead to the mat, reaching those palms as far as you can. Untucking that back toe, sitting back into your right hip here. Keeping that left hip elevated off of the mat. If you need a block to place underneath your left hip so you do not collapse, always that option. Reaching those palms out. Really feeling that stretch in that right glute, that right hip. Just being in this pose here. With every inhale, reach a little farther. With every exhale, feel your hips melting into the mat. One more inhale, and let's bring our hands into the mat and rise up. Bringing our gaze to the front of the room, tucking that back toe and bringing that right foot to meet that left into a downward facing dog. High plank. Hold here. Chaturanga Dandasana, 90-degree bend. Flip those feet, shine that heart, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Bend those knees. Nice deep stretch. And inhale, let's go to the other side. Reach that left leg high. Bring that knee to that nose. Hold it there. Exhale, left leg high. Inhale, bring that left knee right to that left wrist. Dropping down in that back knee. Reaching those palms out forward. Sitting down into that hip here. Option to bring your forehead to the mat. Keeping that left glute off the mat here. If you need a block underneath that right glute, sorry. We're just being in this pose, really feeling that stretch. When you breathe in, reach those palms out a little farther, and when you exhale out, sink down deeper into that hip. Inhale. And plant those palms onto the mat. Tuck that back foot. Elevating that back foot. Reaching that front foot to meet that back foot. Meet me in a high plank. Hold here. And exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Drop those elbows. Flip those feet. And push back into a downward facing dog. Let's come down into our knees. And flip on over to our seat. And then down onto our back. Let's hug both knees in. Placing your hands onto your ankles and grabbing for your feet, or keep your hands onto your ankles for a happy baby pose. Whatever's calling to you, you can roll this happy baby out. Stretch one foot long, keep one foot in. Whatever's calling to you this morning. Really feeling this stretch. Let's release and bring those palms onto those shins, bringing that nose up to your knees, forehead to your knees, and then shoot those legs out, shoot those arms out. Let those toes hang wide. Open up your palms for Shavasana. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And exhale slowly everything out. Another inhale and exhale. Soaking up all the benefits of this morning stretch, this morning flow. Start to wiggle those toes, wiggle those fingertips. And let's reach our arms up overhead for a nice, good morning stretch. Point those toes, stretch as far as you can. And then let's roll on over to one side, whichever side is calling to you today. Rest your head on that bottom arm. Bring those knees up to your chest for fetal pose. And then let's push up with our top arm. Come into a seat position, keeping those eyes closed. Cross-legged, bringing those palms onto your knees. Rolling those shoulders up and down. A big breath in and reach those arms up overhead. Keeping those eyes closed, bringing your hands to a heart center. Dropping your palms to your heart and a bow. Namaste, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day. And thank you so much for practicing with me today. I enjoyed it, and I hope this practice sends you off to a great day.